Anyway, so here we go. Here was the teaser trailer. It's only a minute long, but it's just, I don't know. All right, let's watch it. Let's watch it, and then we're going to get into the actual details of what we know. Because I got articles to go with it. So let's go. Let's watch this, shall we? That's another. All right, let's bring it back here. The Rings of Power. We have a title, guys. We have a title. The Rings of Power. Jaden Hamilton, I caught what you said there. We'll touch on that when we get to Star Wars. I'll comment on that when we get there. I don't want to break from what we're talking about here. Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. All right, let's exit out of this. Let's look at the actual article. Let's zoom in here, shall we? Years after its reveal, and we still don't know much about Amazon, Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. Details remain scant, but they gave us this thing here. They gave us this trailer today. So they changed the narration there. See, that's a change because this is a young Galadriel, apparently. This is a young Galadriel giving us this voiceover. I mean, this is it was so underwhelming. This is Lord of the Rings, one of the most powerful franchises in pop culture history. If you could say the first franchise, it even predates Doctor Who in terms of franchises. This is the granddaddy of them all. And what they give us here is so underwhelming. So let's see. There's a bit of a change in the narration from Peter Jackson's timeless film trilogy, where Galadriel notes the 9 rings were given to mortal men doomed to die, and one for the Dark Lord of Stone. Yeah, I mean, that didn't sound, even I caught that it didn't sound right. Didn't sound right. The new teaser was reportedly done in real life with actual molten metal poured into a big slab of redwood, carved to fill in the full title. Who cares? Like, that even means anything. All right, let's cut out of this one. Will this switch over? No, it won't. All right, let me bring up the actual things, just because CBR did have the they do have a synopsis to go with it. No, that's not it. That's not it. All right. Boomering this. Hang on. CBR. There we are. Okay. There it is. Let's zoom in there. And all right, there we go. All right, so there is a synopsis. They give us a synopsis right here. The synopsis reads from Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. Prime Video's The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, brings to screens for the very first time the heroic legends of the fabled Second Age of Middle-earth's history. Okay. Okay. This epic drama is set thousands of years before the events of Tolkien's The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, and will take viewers back to an era in which great powers were forged, kingdoms rose to glory and fell into ruin, unlikely heroes were tested, hope hung by the finest threads, and one of the greatest villains that ever flowed from Tolkien's pen threatened to cover all the world in darkness. Beginning in a time of relative peace, the series follows an ensemble cast of characters, both familiar and new, as they confront the long-feared reemergence of evil to Middle-earth. From the darkest depths of the Misty Mountains to the majestic forests of the elf capital Lindon, and the breathtaking island kingdom of Numenor, to the farthest reaches of the map, these kingdoms and characters will carve out legacies that live on long after they are gone. There's your synopsis, guys. There's a synopsis. You've been disconnected, huh? All right. So, Legatus, you've been disconnected a dozen times. Yeah, I've been seeing the signal pop up here. Maybe YouTube's having a fart. And YouTube's being addicted to it. They took away like 4 or 5 subs from me since last night. It's like, screw you. But yeah, this instead of introducing some characters, let's just have a cinematic shot. Just like Star Wars Eclipse. Yes, exactly. Anyway, so here's your synopsis. And again, I do not pretend to be a Lord of the Rings guy. I'm a casual Lord of the Rings fan. I own all the movies. I watch them on occasion. I don't watch them constantly. I don't Lord of the Rings is not my it's not my comfort zone. It's not my happy place. It's just some place that I respect and enjoy. I've played some games. I've played the Shadow of the first one was Shadow of War. The second one was Shadow of War. Shadow of Mordor, then Shadow of War. I played both those games. I know those are not canonically accurate, but they do have one thing. That's why I'm mentioning them. It does give you history on the creation of rings. Now, I'm pretty sure that this is canon. Lord of the Rings people, correct me if I'm wrong, but Celebrimbor, the forger of the rings, the elf who forged the rings, will he be in this? Is my question. Will Celebrimbor be in this? Because he forges the rings. I'm right, aren't I? Somebody? He forges the rings, and of course he played a huge part in the video games, and that was breaking from the lore. I understand that, but I play the games because it's a lot of ass kicking, a lot of orc killing. That's why I play those games, and I really enjoy them. We might even do it on a video game stream just for shits and giggles. But why don't they mention Celebrimbor? Why are they only mentioned a young Galadriel or a possible Isildur or Isildur's sister? They say now Isildur's sister. I think somebody, it might have been just some guy, or maybe I forget who it was, put up a nice video talking about how it could break everything and destroy everything by creating a sister of Isildur. How it would destroy the bloodlines and everything. That might be terrible. All right, Max Murther, thank you for coming. Yeah, Celebrimbor is indeed. Yeah, so I'm right. So why not mention? Yeah, they got him wrong, but they're still fun games to play. Yeah, the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War games are massively canonically inaccurate, but they're still really fun games to play. Destroying orcs by the dozens, it doesn't get old. It does not get old. And of course, it messes with the 9 and all that stuff, and the actual Celebrimbor, what he did, but they are fun games to play. I don't know if it's copyrighted because the show isn't out yet. I don't know how it could be copyrighted. And if I get copyright claim, it's not a big deal. Again, I could always mute it. Later on, I get the options now to mute it, Legatus. So don't worry about that. I wouldn't worry about that. Yeah. Shadows of War is a fun game. So what they do, I'll put Mackmore up there. Yeah. So because he is right. Celebrimbor. So why not mention Celebrimbor? Why not start if you really want to capture people's attention? Why not start with at least maybe for the first part? If this is about forging the rings, wouldn't it make sense to make Celebrimbor your main character? It would be sensible to me as a writer, a storyteller. It's telling us you want to capture them. You want to reach out to the hardcore, true Lord of the Rings fans, the people who are going to be most critical of this. I'm going to be critical if it sucks, but my criticism is probably going to pale in comparison to the likes of Gary and just some guy who are really hardcore Lord of the Rings guys. Mine will be of a more this is boring, this is badly written, this is badly shown, doesn't make any sense. Why are they doing this? That's where I'm going to come from in my reviews later this year in September when it comes out. But knowing what I do know, wouldn't it make sense to have Celebrimbor be advertised as your main character? Because he hasn't been explored in Peter Jackson's movies. He's there, but if you know some of the lore, you know he's there. It would make sense as a starting point because you've just called this the Rings of Power, and if they only give him a few shots at the beginning, that's going to be a wasted chance to use what could be a very interesting character if told properly from the lore, not using the Shadows video games as your basis for that. So that's my first instinct when I see this. I see this synopsis right here, and I think, where is a mention of Celebrimbor. And that's an excellent point, Max Mercer. Excellent point. They don't want to put a male elf center stage. You're probably right. We are talking about the same company that gave us the Wheel of Time television adaptation, where every male was a simp, a gimp, a cuck, and led around by all the powerful women who got to do all the great stuff. All the women got to do stuff, and the men got to be gimps and simps and cucks. So that is an excellent point. They don't want to give any male, not even just a white male, any male, some sort of center stage, some sort of starring thing. So at this point, this is now what we have to work with from this. This is what we have to work with. And if this is what we've been shown, a lame trailer that they're talking about how look, it was made with practical effects. We didn't use CGI this time. Yeah, first of all, trailer, not impressed. New Galadriel butchering classic lines. Why not just give us Peter Jackson's dialogue? Maybe there's some legal reasons why they can't do that, but why not just do that? I got something in my glasses. There we go. Why not just give us Peter Jackson's dialogue? Like I said, maybe there's a legal reason they can't, because they don't own that particular dialogue. I mean, I believe I have heard that they purchase so much stuff, but they don't own the movie rights. They only own this part, so maybe they can't use the movie dialogue. Maybe that's why it was changed. But either way, the teaser, an unimpressive teaser trailer. This nerd always complaining. Are you talking to me, Chris Wiz? You talking to me? I'm a nerd. We're geeks. We're nerds. Of course, we're going to complain because they get everything wrong. We have a right to complain when they get everything wrong, when they fail to impress us, when they fail to grab the interest of the people who will pay money for these things. So if I'm complaining, yeah, then I am going to complain. And everybody else complain. That's what we do because we're invested. We want things to be respected. We want things to be presented in their proper way. And this isn't presented the proper way. We look at this synopsis. No mention of characters. You guys have said it already. No mention of characters. No mention of an actual story. They're giving you shiny objects. Oh, look, you're a member of the Misty Mountains? Member Numenor? Member Galadriel? And they're already, if you read between the lines, you can see that the red flags of here comes more diversity and more inclusion. Going to the farthest reaches of the map. Ensemble. To me, that says that. To me, that screams diversity and inclusion, because both familiar and new, which means we're gonna give you lots of things. Here comes lots of characters, and if you don't like them, you're gonna be called a racist and a bigot. Hang on, I got Steve's covered. Excuse me. So this is unimpressive. Why not give us a character name to lock on to? Give us a character name. Give us, like I said, say Celebrimbor. That would have gotten people searching about Celebrimbor. It would have generated thoughts, generated discussion of, oh, Celebrimbor, who's that? Oh, he's a forger of the rings. Oh, whoa, somebody actually forged the rings? I thought Sauron forged the rings, because you don't really get that from Peter Jackson's movies. You don't know that Celebrimbor forged rings. You just see the rings being handed out and the forging of the One Ring. So you don't get that. Give us something like that. It would have generated interest, would have generated attention, would have got people talking about it. Instead, today, everybody's complaining about how lackluster this is. So that's my take on this. And it seems you guys feel the same way. Your initial response is, meh, I don't care. I'm going to watch it so you guys don't have to. Thanks for watching, everyone. I don't do Facebook. I will never do Twitter. If you want to reach out to me, email me at therednerd@gmail.com. I'm on Getter now, at The Ren Nerd, the Geeks and Gamers forums under at ROAS, and you can also follow me on Odyssey at The Renaissance Nerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.